Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going on a journey.
Ooh, a journey.
Haha, yeah, a journey through ancient China
I like it.
to explore this legacy of Qin Shi Huang
Okay.
and his, well, relentless pursuit of immortality.
Sounds fascinating already.
It is, and we're going to be sifting through...
Sifting.
Oh, yeah. Sifting through historical records and some truly fascinating anecdotes.
Anecdotes are the best.
Oh, they're my favorite.
Love a good anecdote.
So get ready for some aha moments.
I'm sure there will be plenty of those.
I think so. Now, you're probably familiar with...
I feel like I've heard that name before.
You definitely have. Qin Shi Huang as the emperor who, unified China, built the Great Wall.
Oh, right.
But his obsession with immortality is a lesser-known side to this guy.
This is what we're diving into today.
Exactly. We're going to uncover that this obsession wasn't just a personal quirk.
More than just a quirk, okay.
It really had this, ripple effect.
Ripple effect, wow.
On everything, from art and architecture to even how ancient people understood the world around them.
So, his personal obsession changed how people saw the world.
It's a classic example of how a single individual's desires can end up shaping the course of history and culture in ways they could never have imagined.
Well, I like that. That's powerful.
It is. So let's start with one of the most famous stories about Qin Shi Huang's quest, the voyage of Zhufu.
Zhufu, okay.
And this is where we encounter this legend of the mythical islands of Penglai, Fangzhang, and Yingzhou.
3 islands, okay.
Yeah, think of them as the Shangri-La of ancient China, where people were said to live forever.
Living forever, that's the goal.
Right. Qin Shi Huang, determined to find the elixir of immortality,
Had to get that elixir.
sent Yufu on this mission to locate these islands and bring back the secret to eternal life.
So it's like a quest, a mythical quest.
What's fascinating is that the legend of Zhufu had an impact that went far beyond Qin Shi Huang's personal ambitions. It actually played a role in shaping relations between China and Japan.
Wait, really? China and Japan? I never knew that.
Yeah. With some Japanese believing that Zhufu actually eventually landed on their shores.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's incredible. I never knew there was a connection between this ancient Chinese legend and Japan.
It's quite a story. And it gets even more interesting when you consider the impact this legend had on art and architecture. Have you ever heard of the one pool, 3 mountains garden design?
One pool, 3 mountains. I'm not sure. Tell me more.
Imagine a beautiful garden, right, with a pond representing the sea.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
And then 3 artificial islands, and they symbolize those elusive islands of immortality.
Oh, so they're recreating the legend.
Exactly. This design, inspired by the legend of Yufu's voyage, became incredibly popular in China.
It's like bringing a fantastical legend to life, right in your own backyard.
And what's amazing is that we can still see echoes of this design in some of the most famous gardens in China, like Beijing's Summer Palace or the Chengde Mountain Resort. It's a testament to the lasting power of this ancient legend and its enduring influence on aesthetics.
Wow, so Qin Shi Huang's search for immortality actually sparked a design trend that has lasted for centuries. That's remarkable. And you mentioned that this influence even extended to Japan.
Absolutely. The 3 islands, 1 pond garden, known as Sankai-tin in Japanese, became a popular design element in Japanese gardens as well, further solidifying the cultural link fostered by the legend of Zhufu. It's a beautiful example of how a simple idea, fueled by the human desire for paradise and escapism, can transcend geographical boundaries and time itself.
It really makes you think. So we've got Zhufu sailing off in search of these mystical islands.
Yeah.
But what about Qin Shi Huang back in China?
Right.
What was he doing while he waited for Zhufu to return with the secret to eternal life?
Well, as you might imagine, Qin Shi Huang wasn't exactly known for his patience.
I did imagine that.
And he certainly wasn't the type to just sit around and wait for fate to take its course.
Right.
He was a builder, a conqueror, a man of action.
So what did he do? Did he try to recreate those mythical islands himself?
You know him so well. Unable to reach those islands in reality, he set about constructing his own personal paradise. This grand project, known as Lanchi Palace, was designed to mirror those legendary islands of immortality. Picture artificial mountains, shimmering pools of water, and even sculptures of whales, all meant to evoke the magic and wonder of those elusive lands.
Wow, it sounds like he was determined to bring a piece of paradise to Earth.
Exactly, and this wasn't just a one-off project.
Oh, there's more.
This desire to create a personal paradise on Earth, it continued with subsequent emperors, including Han Wudi, who was equally obsessed with immortality. He commissioned the construction of the Jiansang Palace, featuring a grand Tai pool. And guess what?
Let me guess, it incorporated the Three Islands motif as well.
You got it.
So it became a recurring theme in Chinese architecture, this idea of replicating paradise on Earth.
It really did, and it makes you think, doesn't it? What drives this deep-seated human desire to create these idyllic spaces? Perhaps it's a yearning for something beyond our earthly limitations, a search for peace and tranquility in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable.
Yeah, I think there's something to that.
It's fascinating how these grand projects, inspired by the quest for immortality, ended up shaping the landscape and artistic traditions of China.
It's a testament to the power of belief and imagination to influence the world around us, even in ways we might not anticipate.
Now, we've been talking a lot about these mythical islands, but
Yeah.
what if there was more to this story?
Oh, what do you mean?
What if Qin Shi Huang wasn't simply chasing a fantasy? There's a theory that what he might have seen wasn't a mythical island at all, but a natural phenomenon known as a mirage.
A mirage. Interesting, I've heard of those.
Intriguing, isn't it? This theory stems from the writings of a Qing dynasty scholar named Wang Tan, who had a fascinating experience while traveling in Lazhou. He witnessed a mirage, and it was so vivid and realistic that it completely shifted his perspective on Qin Shi Huang's obsession.
So he saw a mirage and suddenly understood why an emperor might believe in mythical islands. Tell me more.
Imagine this. Wang Tan describes seeing shimmering cities and landscapes appearing out of thin air as if conjured by magic.
That's wild.
After witnessing this, he wrote about how he could finally empathize with Qin Shi Huang
I see.
and the lengths he went to in pursuit of those elusive islands.
It does make you wonder,
Right.
if you were to see something so extraordinary, wouldn't you also question the boundaries of reality?
Absolutely. And there's another piece of the puzzle that adds to this theory. Another scholar, Qian Yang, wrote about something called the Lake City Mirage, which sounds strikingly similar to what Wang Tan described.
So these weren't just isolated incidents. There were actual documented sightings of these types of mirages back then.
Exactly. And what makes this even more fascinating is how Qian Yang attempted to explain these mirages. He links them to the concept of qi, this life force or energy that permeates all things in the universe.
I've heard of Qi, yeah.
He theorized that mirages were somehow connected to the qi emanating from ancient structures that had long since vanished.
So like an echo of the past, a ghostly imprint of what once was. That's incredible.
Right. But of course, keep in mind that the understanding of such phenomena was quite different back then. For instance, they often attributed these illusions to giant clams called shen, believing that these creatures somehow projected these fantastical images.
Giant clams projecting images of cities. Okay, that's a new one for me.
It sounds outlandish to us now, but it highlights how people in the past tried to make sense of the world around them, often moving their observations into their existing beliefs and mythologies.
It's fascinating how these misinterpretations and attempts to explain the unexplainable can shape our understanding of the world, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a reminder that our perception of reality is often filtered through the lens of our own knowledge and beliefs, which are constantly evolving.
I like that.
And speaking of evolving beliefs,
Okay.
there's another aspect of Qin Shi Huang's reign that we need to explore: his search for the legendary 9 cauldrons.
Oh, yes, those cauldrons.
These ancient bronze vessels were considered sacred symbols of power and legitimacy, said to have been created by the Yellow Emperor himself.
Wow.
They were passed down through various dynasties, but at some point were lost in the Sea River, becoming the stuff of legends.
So they're just gone.
So naturally, Qin Shi Huang, being the ambitious emperor that he was, wanted to find them. But why were these cauldrons so important to him?
Yeah, why weren't they just old pots?
They weren't just ancient artifacts. They represented ultimate authority and the right to rule.
Oh, I see.
Qin Shi Huang saw them as a way to solidify his dynasty and ensure his legacy, believing that possessing these cauldrons would legitimize his rule in the eyes of the people and perhaps even the heavens themselves.
That makes sense. He was obsessed with consolidating his power, and what better way to do that than to possess these legendary symbols of authority? So, how did he go about finding them? Did he have a team of expert divers? Some kind of ancient map?
He certainly spared no effort. He deployed thousands of divers to scour the Sea River,
Thousands. Wow.
determined to locate these lost treasures.
Yeah. Did they find them?
Unfortunately for Qin Shi Huang, no. Despite the massive search effort, the cauldrons remained elusive, lost to the depths of the river and the mists of time.
It's almost ironic, isn't it? This all-powerful emperor who had conquered vast territories and built an empire, unable to locate these legendary objects that held so much symbolic power for him.
It does make you wonder about the nature of power and control. Here we have Qin Shi Huang, a man who sought to control everything, even death itself.
Right, that's his whole thing.
Yet he was ultimately unable to control the very things he craved the most: immortality and the possession of these symbolic cauldrons.
I guess sometimes you just can't control everything. You can't. But there's another layer to this story that we need to consider.
Okay.
I remember reading that some historians believe this whole tale of Qin Shi Huang searching for the 9 cauldrons might be more fiction than fact.
You're right. There's definitely debate among historians about the authenticity of the story.
Really?
Some believe it was propaganda spread by dynasties that came after Qin Shi Huang,
Why would they do that?
a way to portray him as foolish, power-hungry, and perhaps even a bit delusional.
So he might not have even gone on this epic cauldron hunt. It could all be a fabrication, a carefully crafted story designed to discredit him.
It's definitely a possibility. We have to remember that history is often written by the victors,
That's true.
and those who came after Qin Shi Huang might have had a vested interest in shaping his legacy to suit their own agendas.
It's a reminder that the stories we're told, even those about ancient emperors, can be influenced by all sorts of motivations and biases.
Exactly. And that's what makes studying history so fascinating, isn't it? It's not always about finding the definitive answer, but about exploring different perspectives, questioning the narratives we've been given, and piecing together the puzzle of the past.
I love that.
But here's something I've been thinking about.
Okay.
We've talked about qi,
Yeah.
and how people believed it could be used to explain natural phenomena like mirages.
Right, like those mirages we talked about.
They also believed in a form of divination called wangqi, which involved interpreting the shapes and movements of clouds to uncover hidden knowledge.
Wonky. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one.
Yes, wangqi was a significant part of their worldview, a way to connect with the unseen forces of the universe and seek guidance from the heavens.
So if this wonky technique was so powerful, why didn't Qin Shi Huang use it to find those cauldrons? He was clearly willing to try anything to achieve his goals.
That's an excellent question. It seems there's a theory that the practice of wangqi might not have been as widespread or as systematized during Qin Shi Huang's time. It's thought to become more prominent during the Han Dynasty.
Oh, so it came later.
And there's a story from the Han Dynasty that really illustrates this.
Oh.
The one about Jin Yuanping, the con man who tricked Emperor Han Wendi using wangqi.
You're thinking of the same story I am.
Yeah.
Xin Yuanping, a clever manipulator, claimed he could use wonky to locate the 9 cauldrons. And Emperor Han Wendi, eager to acquire these symbols of power, completely fell for his scheme.
It's amazing how even emperors, with all their power and authority, could be susceptible to these kinds of schemes.
It goes to show that regardless of our status or position in life, we're all human, driven by our desires and vulnerabilities.
So if Qin Shi Huang had access to the kind of wonky knowledge that Xin Yuanping claimed to have, maybe those cauldrons wouldn't have remained lost. Talk about a historical what if.
Indeed. It highlights how the availability of knowledge, or even the belief in certain types of knowledge, can have a profound impact on the course of history.
We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. We've explored mythical islands, grand palaces, mysterious mirages, and the elusive 9 cauldrons, all connected by Qin Shi Huang's relentless quest for immortality. But this is just the beginning of our journey.
There's more.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait.
Join us for part 2 as we delve deeper into his story, exploring the clash between an emperor and the divine.
Ooh, clash with the divine. Now we're talking.
I know, right? It's going to be good.
I can't wait to hear what happens next.
I know, me too.
Stay tuned, everyone.
You don't want to miss it.
This is going to be epic.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Qin Shi Huang's just relentless pursuit of immortality.
Relentless is right.
We've been exploring how this desire to, conquer death.
Conquer death. That's a good way to put it.
Shaped everything from those grand architectural projects to his pursuit of those legendary artifacts.
Right.
But this time,
Okay.
we're going to shift our focus
Shifting
to a different kind of encounter.
Okay.
One that reveals this clash between an emperor
And don't leave me hanging.
the divine.
Okay, a clash with the divine.
Yeah.
This is where things get really intriguing. So you're telling me Qin Shi Huang, this emperor who unified China, defied conventional boundaries, picked a fight with a god.
This particular story takes place
Okay.
during one of Qin Shi Huang's grand tours, those epic journeys he undertook
I've heard about those, yeah.
across his vast empire.
Right.
This specific tour
Okay.
took him south to the Xing River, a region steeped in myth and legend.
The Xing River, vaguely familiar. It's known for its connection to ancient deities, right?
You're exactly right.
Okay.
The Xing River is closely associated with the Xing goddess,
The Xing goddess.
a prominent figure in Chinese mythology.
Okay, tell me about her.
Legend has it that she was one of the daughters of the legendary Emperor Yao
Emperor Yao.
and became the wife of another legendary emperor, Shun,
Another emperor.
after Shun's death.
Okay.
She was said to have drowned herself in the Shang River,
Oh, that's sad.
heartbroken, and was deified as the Shang goddess.
So she's a pretty significant figure in Chinese mythology. What happened when Qin Shi Huang, this emperor obsessed with control and power, encountered a place dedicated to such a powerful goddess? Did he try to enlist her help in his quest for immortality?
Well, remember,
Yeah.
Qin Shi Huang wasn't exactly known for his humility
I can imagine that.
or his willingness to share power.
Right.
He was accustomed to getting his own way,
Yeah.
accustomed to bending the world to his will.
So his encounter with the Shang goddess did not go as smoothly as he might have hoped.
As the story goes,
Oh, wait.
while Qin Shi Huang was attempting to cross the Shang River,
Right.
a massive storm erupted. We're talking ferocious winds that nearly capsized his boat.
That's terrifying.
Now, back then, people believed that natural disasters were often signs of divine displeasure.
Right, the gods are angry.
So I'm guessing Qin Shi Huang didn't interpret this near-death experience as a gentle reminder to be a bit more respectful of the gods. Not quite.
What did he do?
Qin Shi Huang, in his characteristic manner, was furious.
Oh, boy.
He saw the storm as a direct challenge to his authority,
Wow, even a storm is challenging him.
a sign that even the gods dared to defy him.
So how did he respond? Did he offer a sacrifice to appease the goddess? Or did he double down on his defiance?
Let's just say Qin Shi Huang was not one to back down from a challenge,
That bad?
even a divine one,
There we go.
in a move that can only be described as audacious.
Audacious.
He ordered his men to cut down the sacred trees on Mount Shang.
He deforested a sacred mountain as revenge against a goddess. Talk about holding a grudge.
It might seem extreme to us now,
Yeah, a bit extreme.
but remember, this was a different era with a different worldview.
Right, different times.
While Qin Shi Huang believed in the power of the gods, he also believed in his own power to command and control even the forces of nature.
So did his act of defiance appease the Xian goddess? Or did things escalate further?
Well, the story doesn't mention any further divine retribution.
Okay.
So perhaps the Xian goddess decided to let it slide this time.
Maybe she picked her battles.
However, this incident reveals something quite profound about Qin Shi Huang's character.
I'm all ears. What does it tell us about this emperor who dared to defy both death and the gods?
It suggests that his quest for immortality wasn't just about living forever.
There was more to it.
It was also about power and control,
Right.
a deep-seated need to dominate not only the physical world, but also the spiritual realm.
Wow, he wanted to control everything.
He wanted to overcome death, yes.
Yeah.
But he also wanted to conquer everything, even the domain of the gods.
That's a fascinating insight. It's like he saw immortality as the ultimate victory, proof that he was above everyone and everything, even the divine.
Exactly.
Wow.
And this drive for absolute control is a recurring theme throughout his reign.
Makes sense.
We see it in his massive building projects, his standardization of laws and language, his ruthless suppression of dissenting voices.
Oh, yeah, he was known for that.
It seems he couldn't tolerate anything or anyone challenging his authority, not even the gods themselves.
It's almost as if this encounter with the Xian goddess just encapsulates Qin Shi Huang's entire worldview, his ambition and his belief in his own unparalleled power.
Right.
Okay, but let's shift gears for a moment
Okay.
and revisit his quest for the 9 cauldrons.
Those cauldrons.
We talked about how these ancient bronze vessels were believed to be symbols of ultimate power and legitimacy, like the ancient Chinese equivalent of the Holy Grail.
Exactly. And Qin Shi Huang, being the ambitious emperor that he was, naturally wanted to possess them.
Of course. He was obsessed with consolidating his power and legitimizing his rule, and what better way to do that than to find these legendary cauldrons?
Right. He saw them as a way to secure his dynasty and ensure his legacy for generations to come.
So remind me again, what did he do to try and find them? Did he have a team of expert divers? Ancient maps.
He certainly invested significant resources in his search.
Okay.
Thousands of divers were deployed to scour the Sai River, where legend claimed the cauldrons had been lost centuries earlier.
Thousands, wow. And did they ever find them?
Despite the massive effort and resources invested, the search ultimately proved fruitless.
Oh, bummer.
The cauldrons remained elusive,
Of course.
lost to the murky depths of the river and the mists of time.
It's almost comical, isn't it? This all-powerful emperor, unable to find these lost relics that held so much symbolic power for him.
It does make you wonder if there was a sense of irony in his failure.
Yeah.
This emperor who had conquered vast lands and built an empire was humbled by his inability to locate these objects that he so desperately craved.
It's kind of poetic.
But there's another aspect to this story that we haven't touched on yet.
Oh, what's that?
I recall reading that some historians believe this whole narrative about Qin Shi Huang searching for the 9 cauldrons might have been exaggerated or even fabricated by later dynasties.
Really? They made it up?
That's right. There are historians who question the authenticity of this tale, suggesting it might have been a form of propaganda spread by those who came after Qin Shi Huang
Interesting.
to discredit him and portray him as a foolish and power-hungry ruler.
So this whole epic cauldron hunt might be nothing more than a cleverly crafted story designed to tarnish his legacy.
It's a possibility worth considering.
Wow.
We know that history is often written by the victors,
True.
and those who came after Qin Shi Huang might have had their own motives for shaping the narrative of his reign.
It's a good reminder that even seemingly straightforward historical accounts can be influenced by a multitude of factors, and that the past is often more complex and ambiguous than we might initially believe.
Absolutely.
I like that.
And this uncertainty adds to the intrigue of studying history,
Thank
isn't
you.
it? It's a process of piecing together fragments of information,
Right.
considering different perspectives,
Yeah.
and acknowledging that we may never have a complete or definitive understanding of the past.
That's history for you.
Okay,
Okay.
so we have Qin Shi Huang
Yeah.
battling a goddess
Right.
and possibly embarking on this quest for these elusive cauldrons,
Mhm.
all in his pursuit of power and immortality.
Right. His main goals.
But there's something I've been pondering.
What's that?
We've talked about ki
Yeah.
and how people believed it could be used to explain natural phenomena like mirages.
Right. Like those mirages we discussed.
They also believed in a form of divination called wangqi,
Guamki. Okay.
which involved interpreting the shapes and movements of clouds to uncover hidden knowledge.
Clouds. Okay. Interesting.
Yes, wangqi was a significant practice in ancient China, a way to connect with the unseen forces of the universe and seek guidance from the heavens.
So if this wonky technique was so powerful, why didn't Qin Shi Huang utilize it to locate those cauldrons? He was clearly willing to try anything to achieve his goals.
It's a great question. It seems the prevailing theory among historians is that the practice of wangqi might not have been as widespread or as systematized during Qin Shi Huang's reign.
Okay, so it wasn't as popular back then.
It's believed to have become more prominent during the Han Dynasty, which came after the Qin Dynasty.
Oh, so it came later.
And there's a story from the Han Dynasty that perfectly illustrates this.
Oh, tell me more.
The one about Xin Yuanping, the con man who tricked Emperor Han Wendi using wangqi.
I remember him. Xin Yuanping, a clever manipulator, claimed he could use wonky to locate the 9 cauldrons, and Emperor Han Wendi, desperate to acquire these symbols of power, completely fell for it.
It's fascinating how even emperors, with all their power and authority, could be susceptible to manipulation and deception.
It goes to show that regardless of our status or position in life, we're all human, driven by our desires and vulnerabilities.
It makes you wonder. If Qin Shi Huang had access to the kind of wangqi knowledge that Xin Yuanping claimed to possess, perhaps those cauldrons wouldn't have remained lost.
Right.
It's a tantalizing what-if scenario, isn't it?
It really is. It highlights how the availability of knowledge, or even the belief in certain types of knowledge, can significantly impact the course of history.
We've delved into mythical islands, grand palaces, mysterious mirages, the elusive 9 cauldrons,
It's been quite a journey.
and even a clash with a goddess.
Oh yeah, don't forget the goddess.
All interwoven with Qin Shi Huang's relentless quest for immortality.
Relentless is right.
But our journey through his story isn't over yet.
There's more.
Join us for the final part of our deep dive,
I can't wait.
as we explore the ultimate fate of this emperor who dared to defy death itself.
Ooh, the ultimate fate. This is going to be good.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into Qin Shi Huang's quest for immortality. We've journeyed through mythical islands, angered goddesses, and even searched for legendary cauldrons.
All in the name of cheating death.
All in the name of cheating death. But now,
The million-dollar
the
question.
million-dollar question, did he actually succeed?
Well, let's just say the historical record isn't exactly clear on that point.
Come on, you've got to give me more than that. After all this, did Qin Shi Huang actually find that elusive elixir of life?
As much as Qin Shi Huang desired to live forever, his earthly journey, well, it ended
It ended
at the relatively young age of 49.
49. That's certainly not what I would call conquering death. What happened? Did he die in battle? Was there an uprising?
While the exact details surrounding his death are somewhat shrouded in mystery, it seems that his own pursuit of immortality may have inadvertently hastened his demise.
Now that's ironic. You're telling me that the very things he was doing to prolong his life might have actually contributed to his early death.
That's the prevailing theory, yeah. It's believed that some of the concoctions he consumed, hoping to, extend his lifespan,
Right.
might have contained toxic ingredients like mercury.
So in his quest to defy nature, he might have fallen victim to it. It's a cautionary tale, isn't it?
It is.
A reminder that even the most powerful individuals are ultimately subject to forces beyond their control.
But even though Qin Shi Huang didn't achieve physical immortality,
Right.
his relentless pursuit of it,
It left a mark.
it left a lasting mark on history. As we had the last 3 parts of this deep dive exploring just how much his obsession shaped art, architecture, mythology.
Even how people understood natural phenomena.
It's remarkable how the actions of a single individual can resonate through time in such profound ways.
And it goes even deeper than that. Qin Shi Huang's quest for immortality, I think it reveals something fundamental about the human experience.
Oh, I like that. Tell me more.
This universal desire to transcend our limitations, to push beyond boundaries, to conquer the seemingly unconquerable.
We all want to make our mark on the world, to leave a legacy, to be remembered.
And in a way, Qin Shi Huang achieved a kind of immortality, wouldn't you say? His name is still spoken thousands of years later. His story continues to fascinate and inspire us.
I think you've hit on something very insightful. True immortality might not be about living forever in a physical sense, but about the impact we have on the world, the stories we leave behind, the memories we create in the hearts and minds of others.
Maybe it's about the ripple effect we create.
The ripple effect, yeah.
The way our actions and ideas continue to influence the world long after we're gone.
I think you're onto something there. And in that sense, Qin Shi Huang, despite his flaws and his often ruthless ambition, achieved a unique form of immortality.
He did.
His quest, his failures, his triumphs, they all continue to resonate with us today, reminding us of our own mortality
Right.
and the enduring power of the human spirit to strive for something beyond the limitations of our physical existence.
That's a really powerful thought to end on. So while Qin Shi Huang might not have found the secret to eternal life, his story offers a different kind of lesson, one about the enduring power of legacy and the profound impact that even a single individual can have on the course of history and human imagination. And that concludes our deep dive into the legacy of Qin Shi Huang's quest for immortality. We hope you enjoyed the journey.